What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is what's left of government wash. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gents, over the last several weeks I've been exploring some new places with my parents, but they have sadly made their way back to South Africa, and to be honest, I kind of started missing my home lake, Lake Mead. So I'm quite excited to get out there fishing again, but I see that quite a lot of people have been catching smallmouth bass, largemouth bass and some stripers. How nice of you guys to have all this fun out there without me. And alongside that, with the lowering water levels, people are finding some bodies and some sunken ships and some treasures. But I'm not out here today to look for anything like that. Instead, every time the water goes down, I'm quite amazed to see that there are certain areas where you get some big fields of clams. Now, I'm not talking about the quagga or quagga mussel, invasive species brought into these waters. No, I'm talking about actual freshwater clams. And most of the clams you find will be open and dead. And that kind of got me wondering, is there any fish in Lake Mead that actually eat clams? Now, I'm not expecting some kind of fish with a parrot beak or something biting them open, but when these clams die and they open up, maybe there's some predatory fish that will like to go for these clams. And I think that's what this video today is going to be about. Alright, ladies and gents, I got my clams out here with me. Now I need to post a warning right about now. You do not want to be that guy that's responsible for stocking a new invasive species, so never use live or fresh clams. These were some frozen clams. In fact, the wife made some vongole or some clam pasta for us last night, and I saved a few of those clams. So these are completely dead frozen clams that I'm going to be using out there today. Because I'm thinking that we are going to be having some scavengers go for our little clams, I'm going to use a simple Carolina rig with a sturdy big circle hook, hoping for some catfish. And quite simply, we're just baiting our circle hook with some clams. These might tear off quite easily, so I do have some elastic band if we need to wrap them. But first off, I'm going to start just as they are, throw them out there, see if we get any fish on that. Now, throwing the clams out there, we might get some action, we might not. So we need to control something we can compare the clams to, and that is why on the second rod, I'm going to be using some good old trusty Kool-Aid Franks. These are just some hot dogs that I soaked in Kool-Aid, giving them some flavor. We're going to cast that out on the second rod, and we're going to compare the two, see which one works better. And if we don't find any fish on either one of the two, we know it might just simply be a bad day for fishing. Alright guys, place your bets. Which one do you think is going to be first? The clams or the hot dogs? Go down in the comments and tell me which one you think is going to be first. Alright, ladies and gents, we got both our baits soaking out there. All we can do now is wait for some fish to show up. Now, while I have some time, I quickly want to add a few things. It is June, it is hot out here already. So when coming to fish, please remember to bring more than enough water. Rather carry around some heavy bag with water, but make sure you have enough water, and also try and protect yourself from the sun. Now, this is something I don't say in a lot of my videos, but the suits I'm wearing, that's SPF 50 shirts, just to try and block out some of the harmful rays of the sun, as well as using some sunblock, but also to get out of the heat. It might help to get some shade. So consider getting some portable shade that you can drag around with you when coming out to the fishing waters. Just had a hit, so let's see if we can get this fish. It's a good thing about using circle hooks, the fish is not going to get off. So if you had clams as the first one that's going to get the fish today, well, good on you. Was not expecting clams to be working this well. Let's see what fish it is. Lots of head shakes, thinking it's going to be a channel cat, and it just popped off. But judging by the amount of slime that's on this leader, definitely catfish. I think the problem was my hook point was not exposed. So let's rebait, try again. Alright, so this time around I'm making sure we have our little hook tip exposed, making sure that hooks into the corner of the fish's mouth. Alright guys, it's now been 1 hour. That first little fish we almost landed with our little clams. That was only 25 minutes into the fishing session. After an hour, that rod's been getting quite a lot of hits, small fish stealing my baits, whereas our trusted old hot dogs, we've not had a single bite on them in an hour. So even though I love using the little hot dogs, I think I'm going to swap out to some clams on this one as well and see if we get some better fish. Alright guys, just saw some movement in this cove, packed away one of my rods, quickly tied on. The first lure I could get, threw it in this cove because I could see some fish swimming around quickly, and we have a little bass. Let's quickly get him out of the water. Got him hooked nice in the corner of the mouth. Alright, so there's our little bass landed. Could see a little boil happening. Was trying to rebait one of my rods, cast that aside. Quickly tied on the lure, and we got a tiny largemouth bass. Let's quickly get him some oxygen. That is why it's important to always be vigilant, watch the water, any sudden movement, anything like that. It's a good idea to quickly throw a lure. Yes, I now still have to rebait my other rod, but at least we got a fish. Seeing how we lost that first catfish, tiny little largemouth bass for today. Get one last look at the little fish. Not going to weigh him, it's not that big. Let's get him back. And off he goes. Alright, now quickly get some baits back on the one rod, cast it out there again. Alright, so it's now a couple of hours later. I got the white rod out there again with my little hot dogs, and the other one I'm still using some of the clams, but I think my clams are starting to get cooked out here in the heat. But we're going to still try out there, see if we can get any catfish. Most people believe that from 11 to 2 p.m. you won't catch any catfish. They don't like the light, they go hiding. But it's only a couple of hours and I'm not afraid to let the bait soak out there. We'll wait some more, see if any of the fish come back up shallow, try to feed. Alrighty guys, you can almost say today was a calamity. We set out this morning thinking that the catfish will be biting pretty well, and 24 minutes into this video we got the first hit from a little catfish, but sadly I wasn't able to land that fish. That's the first time I got a fish that came off of a circle hook, and I think from that Walmart we can learn that not all circle hooks are equal. And just as suddenly as the bite came, it also went. No more bites for the rest of the day, not on hot dogs or on the little clams. I saw a little boil happening and we got that one little bass. So luckily we're not getting skunked today, but we're not getting the fish that I wanted. Now again, catfish prefer to feed at night, so maybe using some clams at night, not a bad idea. I do think the clams would work pretty well. I got a lot of bites out there. Only the one take where it bent the rod, but I've been getting a lot of hits the entire day. Small fish picking on the little clams. So do I think the clams are worth it? Yes, I do. It's not something as stinky as anchovies or something like that. And clearly the fish do eat it, but once again, be very careful. Don't use any live clams, only use frozen clams. You don't want to spread something in these waters. Alright guys, but I think that's going to be it for this video. Please do give me a thumbs up for the little fish we did get. Feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. If you've not subscribed to this channel yet, consider doing so, hitting the subscribe button, joining my community. I do weekly videos. You can also ring the bell notification next to the subscribe button. That of course will notify you of when I upload the videos. I kind of almost forgot how warm it can get out here in the summer, so please be safe when you guys go out fishing. Thank you for following me, and like always, I'll see you next time.